Hello everyone again. This is the second part of our lesson, which is concerned for grammar, and the title is Indirect Questions. Indirect questions is a form to ask questions, okay, in a very professional maybe manner and maybe in very unknown and unfamiliar manner, but it's good way to ask questions indirectly. So as usual, the picture on the left that introduces us to the presentation, which is concerned about the analysis and explanation of the course. Okay, what type of boss do you work for? Tick 1. Type 1, my boss always needs it now. Haven't you finished it yet? Hurry up. Type 2, my boss needs it today. Sorry, but can I ask you if you finished it yet? Type 3, my boss needs it sometime this week or next. You haven't finished it? You haven't finished it? No problem. Okay. Presentation, negative questions. You can ask questions using the negative form of the verb. Haven't you finished it yet? Or, for example, I tell you, you traveled to Casablanca. I tell you, didn't you travel to Casablanca last time? So you start your question with a negative form. Didn't, haven't, don't, etc., etc. When you use negative questions in spoken English, you normally use contracted forms. Full forms are less common. Haven't they called you back? More common. Have they not called you back? This is a less common form of question that we find. You often use negative questions to, first, show surprise or annoyance. Haven't you finished it yet? You've been working on that report for hours. 2, suggest something. Why don't you work late tonight? So this is a suggestion, sorry, or a proposition. Number 3, request something often impolite or expected negative response. Can't I finish it later? So this is impolite expectation that you expect from the speaker you are talking to. Number 4, check information or something you think is probably true. Isn't the deadline for this report next Friday? So this way of indirect question, you think that is probably correct, that is probably true. So you try to put the question in this form. Finally, exclaim something. Don't you work long hours? It's like you ponder, you think, you bet about an idea or about an issue. When you use negative question forms for exclamations, you use an exclamation mark, not a question mark. It's okay. So because the difference between question mark and exclamation mark, of course, makes a big difference. Indirect ways of asking questions. You can use certain expressions to make questions less direct. They often make the question more polite or more tentative. Have you finished it yet? Can I ask you if you have finished it yet? More polite and less direct. Common expressions to ask a question indirectly. Can, could, I ask you if. Okay, and then you continue the question. Can, could you, and anyone tell me, and you continue your question what that somebody you want them to tell you. Do you know, or do you remember, or do you think, and you continue again your question. Do you have an idea about, for example, if they found the cure or the vaccine for coronavirus? Okay, just an example. I don't know, I'd like to know, I wonder, I was wondering if or whether, and you continue again your question. After the expression, the word order is the same as an affirmative sentence subject before the verb. I was wondering if you've finished it yet. Not I was wondering if finished it yet. It's okay. So you put the subject, it means you emphasize, and you put the focus on the subject you are talking to or you are talking about. With yes, no questions, use if or whether. Can I ask you if or whether you've finished it yet? With object questions, don't use an auxiliary verb, do, does, or did, in the present simple or past simple. Do you have an idea what time she wants to report? Not, do you have an idea what time does she want the report? Okay, that's incorrect. Statements as questions or sentences as questions or in the form of questions. You can make an affirmative sentence into a question by using rising intonation at the end. This type of question often shows surprise or checks information. You haven't finished it yet? What have you been doing? Okay, this again, this intonation, of course, it has to do with the voice, and you should make, as I said, or as it's included, or as it's clear in front of you, you put it at the end. This has taken longer than I expected. Okay, A, the office is open on Saturday. I'm fairly certain, but I want to check. That's right, but only until midday. So these are statements as questions, but this is okay. We play more on the sound, on the voice, and on the intonation. Okay, simply. So this is the end for the explanation of the course. Now we move to the part of exercises. Okay, exercise 1, match statement as a question 1 to 6 to the questions A to F. So you're asked to match or to make just simply 1 A, B, or C, or D, or F, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Exercise 2, put these words in the correct order to make questions or statements. So these are unscrambled. So sorry, they are scrambled. You are going to unscramble them, and put them in the correct order to make questions. Of course, we are talking about indirect questions. Okay, from one is done, one it's already done. Done, he hasn't good job. So the question is, hasn't he done a good job? Two, come you, I with Kent. So it's okay, or okay, I help you, I do it for you, and then you do the rest. Can't I come with you? Okay, so the question is, can't I come with you? So from 3 to 8, you are asked to complete that. Exercise 3, read the first sentence or question, rewrite each to ask the question indirectly, or form a negative question, or make a statement as question. So we've got here 5 sentences, 5 examples. Number 1, have you talked to your boss about the problem? It would be a good idea too. So here, why, for example, why don't you tell your boss about the problem? Why don't you? So here you've got different ways to ask the question, but or provided that you keep the same meaning. 2, 3, 4, 5. The rest complete it yourself. Exercise 4, try to write some examples of your own about indirect questions. So I said you're required to write some examples here of your own and try to have some practice on your own. Okay, so indirect questions, they are, if you master or if you have full control and full knowledge of this type of questions, you will be speaking fluent English and you will have no problem. Thank you very much again for paying attention with the second part of our course. Of course, if you have anything to remark or you have any suggestions or questions or something which is not clear, don't hesitate to jot down that and contact me at any time you like. I wish you the best of luck. Take much care of yourselves.